There we go. Okay. Just took me a minute to see. Hello, everyone. I have no idea. I just wanted to find an excuse to stream, so here I am with this random idea I got in the shower, because that's where all my ideas come from. But yeah. So I legitimately just want. I'll literally take any excuse to stream when I have the opportunity. So, so yeah, I just was in the shower and I thought, hey, like, it would be fun if I did a stream where, like, I just talk about character stuff, because I actually remember that, I do have to stream when it's 4 at my place. Well, I usually stream around the same time, which is after I take a shower, so, don't ask questions yet, by the way. I want to give people a chance to show up before I start doing things. Hi, Sam. Sorry, I didn't ask people to join me. I wanted to do this solo. Hi, Sam. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So I just thought, like, because someone suggested before, you should just do a stream where you talk about your own stories, and I was like, yeah, I'd do that. I love talking about my crap. But then I thought, hey, why don't I turn this into a is Tuesday Tuesday? That's bi-weekly now. Um, uh, but it's bi-weekly now, so no, there's not going to be a Tuesday this week. There'll be one next week. But what was I saying? I don't even remember what I'm saying ever. Every time I get sidetracked, I just like, cause my mind's always going like a million miles per hour. I don't ever know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I can't find my old stream thing, and I found a picture of a swan that I had for my Pearl corruption thing, so I was like, swan. Um, but yeah, so I just basically got the idea, hey, why don't I make a thing? Because everyone always asks me questions about, like, story-related stuff, character-related stuff, all that good stuff, and I never know how to answer, and I don't ever really, like, I never really know how to answer, and sometimes I don't have a time to go into an in-depth answer, and also it's very hard for me to get all my thoughts in text. I'm better at articulating my thoughts through words a lot of the time. Um, you don't have to doodle me one tiny. It's fine. I like funny thumbnails, so I have plenty of pictures I can do. But so yeah. Basically, like it says, and I'll go in more depth about what this word stuff says, and I actually have Photoshop in the background, just in case I need some kind of visual example of something. But basically, this is just a stream where people can ask me, you can ask me any story slash character related question that you can think of, and it can be about your stories, it can be about, like, my thoughts on a specific story. Granted, I would have to be relying on if I'd seen said movie, said books, or said TV show, etc. And then, or you could, of course, if you wanted to, you could ask me random BS about my stories. That's fine too. I'm down. But yeah. And then so you can basically ask anything about that, and I'll just try to answer to the best of my ability. And I would prefer. The big thing is that, please, if you're gonna, I'm sorry. I have a specific time when I stream. I like streaming after I shower because I have more time to do that, and I have less chance of getting interrupted. But yeah, so my request is that if you're gonna ask me a question, especially if it's a question about, like, hey, how can I do this? Please be as specific as you possibly can, because writing is very based on context and it depends on so many different things. And so, like, don't ask me questions like, how do you make a character? Because you can't just make a character, because there's a billion ways you can go about making a character, and it depends on what you need, what kind of story you're going to have, what sort of image you have in your mind, what kind of other characters you have in the story, if any. So yeah, just try and make it as specific as possible, and I'll answer the best of my ability. So, it's been, how long has it already been? It's been 5 minutes. I think there's enough people, I think, long enough. So ask away. And of course, if I don't answer your question right away, it's not personal. Just, you're free to re-ask it when you want, but do not spam. Just say, don't spam. So, yeah. Okay. Flamestar. First one I see. Flamestar 1031. So, Zodiac, I'm trying to make a series inspired by the Mega Man X franchise. How would one go about making a story based on an existing franchise without it seeming like a ripoff? Well, it depends. There's like certain ways to go about it, because there's an issue with people thinking like that inspiration is ripping off and you have to be 100% original or your story is not good. When in reality, and strangely I'm relating this back to superheroes, but like with superheroes and superhero comics, there are many times and many different kinds of stories and medias where quote unquote ripoffs are better than their predecessors or the original source. It depends very heavily on execution. And all I can say is that, oh yeah, I don't know how long this stream is going to be, Sarah Davis. It's going to be as long as I feel like I want it to go. But if you're going to make a series inspired by something else, my suggestion would be, do not be afraid to go for it and do what you want. Don't restrict yourself to only being inspired by that franchise. Take the pieces that you want to take and make it your own, basically. And in general, and trust me, you'll know if you do it right, because people might notice how it's similar, but just take it and run with it. Don't restrict yourself. If you see an idea or concept that you like, flip and go for it. Oh yeah, by the way, you probably want to do something else while watching this, because there's not going to be much to watch. So yeah, my suggestion, if you want to make something based off an existing franchise, don't just take from that one source, because there's a quote, I don't remember who said it, but there's a quote that was like, it's good to steal from many, bad to steal from one. So just make sure you make it your own thing. It's good to be inspired by something, but just don't limit to yourself just to that thing. So that's what I have to say about that. How do I keep characters from being self-inserts? Well, unless you're consciously basing it off yourself, there's not really a way to make it a self-insert. And that's not even going on the tangent that self-inserts aren't inherently bad. It depends, again, how you execute them and how you write them. Can you tell us your Hall Gem universe story? Probably not. I don't think that's going to go on for hours, because I'd want to explain every little flippin' detail. So yeah. How do you come up with the Missing Castle? How do you come up with an original name for a story or project that doesn't rip off already taken names or sounds like something similar to something else? Well, for one thing, when it comes to originality, practically everything exists in one way or another. So there is, honestly, don't worry about it. Like, so long as you're not intentionally trying to steal a name from something. And I mean, there's a difference between having a name like The Snow and it being the same as like 5 other things, and saying, like, having the exact title of like Hunger Games, So make a title that fits your story. Don't worry about whatever comes with it. Don't worry about ripping off someone else's name, because if the name should fit the story. And if you worry so much about, oh, I might accidentally steal from something I don't even know about, or it might sound similar to something, well, you can't really, you're not going to be able to help that. Your name, whatever you come up with, unless it's some really, really long, convoluted name, then, you know, you're not going to avoid it. Just make something that fits the story. Drawny arts. I'm just going with like the first things I see. So I'm in the process of making a fantasy universe. I've already made a list of creatures and environments in the world, but I don't know how to put the rest of the world together. Well, coming from me, someone who's like most publicized story is a story that combines everything that shouldn't be combined together and has fantasy characters, magic, sci-fi, technology, other worlds, other dimensions, time travel, all this other kind of stuff. And there's like a bunch of different universes with their own structure, their own ideas. It's basically like a bunch of stories in one giant story, which actually sort of goes back to the name of it, Luniverse. But you basically, it's let it come naturally is the best I can say, because there is like you gotta kind of let it come together naturally. And all I can say is just do it. Oh my god, if you're so irked by the name, I'll flip and change, I swear. I'm sorry, I spelt just wrong. I was in a rush. Anyway, so when it comes to making something complicated and tying it together, just go for it. Like, don't give yourself any limits, just go. Like, shoot for it. It is easier to reel things back and fix things and make things make sense than it is to try and figure out how to make things make sense the first time you do it. Like, just I've known from experience, it's easier to reel things back than try to shoot for the moon the first time. Just shoot for the moon, you're gonna go past it, but that's okay, because you can fix it and you can correct yourself. Just like literally just go for it. And some things aren't going to work. Some things are not going to work. Some things are going to work. Some things will be great. So you'll find something you didn't even think of. So yeah, if you're going to make something complicated, you just got to go for it, man. So yeah. Yasmin's art. I've been wanting to create an OC, but the design doesn't seem fitting for her personality. How could I go about that? Well, there's different things you could do. For one thing, a good thing to do just in general, and this goes for anything, is that like when it comes to art related, you can like just make a lot of different concepts. Use any idea you can come up with and see what it looks like. And just tweak and edit and just find something that works. And I actually have a very specific tactic for whenever I make outfits for characters. When it comes to designs, well, I guess actually this applies to like hair colors and things, or hairstyles and things like that. But there is a good thing you can do when it comes to making like clothes for your characters, unless they're supposed to wear a specific kind of like uniform or something. Rather than thinking about what would look like what should I put on this character, what would fit for like them, think about from the perspective of your character. Guys, I'm not ignoring you. I'm answering questions. Look at the chat. There's a billion questions. I'm not ignoring you. If I don't answer your question, it's because I haven't gotten to it yet. So just calm down. But anyway, so where was I? Okay, take a moment and look out from the eyes of your character instead. Don't and think about what would my character want to wear, because you could obviously you could look at a character like, oh, they act like this, they should wear those things. But would your character, if they were real, want to wear those kind of things? That's how I actually kind of go about designing certain outfits sometimes. So hope that helped. Yeah, so okay. Bean art. I have these characters and I love them a lot, but I don't have a place for them to exist, and I don't know why they exist, and I don't have a world for them to exist. Help. You know what's really funny? That's exactly how Luniverse started. Story time. Luniverse, for people who don't know, Luniverse started about a year or two ago because I found out what adoptables were and I found out how they worked. And Luna was my very first adoptable I ever bought, I believe. And I basically took her and I thought like, and I ended up just kind of going on a spree. And then I found like the old concept art for Infinity that I turned into Infinity. I found, I made witch adoptables and I ended up keeping Vanessa, which was good. But there's so like, and Luniverse started with me just having all these really bullshit characters. They were very terrible characters. They were very strictly tropey. They were very bad. They didn't really make sense. And I didn't come up with any real idea about how they could have gotten along or how this would actually work. I just knew, oh yeah, they live together and they're roomies. And like this was even back at a time when Zero was a protagonist. But anyway, but it started out like that, and then I took a look and I said, well, gee, this doesn't make any sense. No, I will not delete this stream, Miss Rachel Bear. All my streams go public, or at least all of them have so far. But anyway, so, like with Luniverse, it was just a bunch of characters, and I looked back on it and I realized, well, what the heck? None of this makes sense. There's no way this could make sense in all the stuff I have, you know, and I was going to scrap it, but then I thought, you know what? How can I actually make this work? And that's kind of how it became like such a big project for me. Because I was like, well, shoot, how on earth is there a way I can make this make sense? And so again, go for it. You can find a way, I assure you. You can find a way to make it work. I mean, Luniverse is, again, everything just, like, what was I about to say? Like, Luniverse is, nothing makes sense. None of those characters should be together. But I've made it my goal to make it work. So, yeah, I'll stop talking about that. Okay. Is too many characters a bad thing? No. I mean, in all honesty, they're not inherently a bad thing. Neither is too little characters. You can never have too many characters. Jessica Mrs. Benzer. I'm sorry, I totally butchered that. Hey Zodiac, I have a world which is kind of similar to yours in the context. It's a bunch of stories tied in one with one. A lot of interesting characters and designs. That's cool. I love complicated stories that shouldn't go together. Mart's Gamer G. I'm making an alien species that's based on birds and humans, but I don't want them to look really earthly, nor completely different from what they're meant to be. How do I do it? Well, there's a lot of different ways you could go about that. I have seen that when it comes to aliens, sometimes just plain clothing can make them stick out. Sometimes just giving them little things. I mean, in all honesty, we don't know what aliens look like if they exist. I'd like to think they exist, but if they might not even exist. So when it comes to aliens, you have a lot of room. Like, you can go absolutely crazy, or you could make it look like something that would make sense. Hell, I mean, you could even... why is everything that comes out of my mouth another story idea? Like, you could make a story that's a bunch of aliens that are based strictly off of mythical creatures. Like, oh, look, the mythical creatures exist, but they're aliens, you know? So, yeah. Tarina Franks, last time asking because I don't want to spam. Zodiac, what are your thoughts on OCX canon ships? Can they be done well, or are they irredeemably bad? Pretty much, something you'll hear out of my mouth a lot is that pretty much anything in writing is not inherently bad. Most of the time. It depends how specific you get, but you know. OCX canon ships really, to me, I think people make way too big of a deal about them. Because they can be done well, they can be done tactfully, and really, it's for fun. Like 99% of the time, it's for fun. It's only bad if the person's like gets defensive and says like they're mine, or like actually legitimately thinks that that character's their boyfriend or girlfriend, you know? So I don't think canon XOC ships are bad. I think it's just a fun, you know? So no, I don't think they're irredeemably bad. Shadow Fox, how do you give your characters reasonable personality traits? See, that's one of those questions that is very broad that I don't know how to answer that. Because, again, it very depends. And in all honesty, you don't always have to give your characters reasonable personality traits. A lot of times you'll hear advice that is like, oh yeah, your character's personalities have to be like relatable and believable. No, they don't. In all honesty, you can make a character that is so. I mean, that's like legitimately the aim I go for when I create some of my characters. Some of my more mythical or comedic characters, I go for exaggeration in their personalities because I find it more interesting and more humorous, you know? So, again, it depends. I can't really answer that question correctly. So, I've seen this a billion times. So, Ace Cat 17, how did Jay get his scars? That is a backstory thing that is important, and I can't answer that question. I can only say that there was an explosion involved. The broken water bottle. Hey Zodiac, I've got a bunch of characters that aren't necessarily in a story, but I've been thinking about how to give them powers and stuff without making their story about that. Any ideas? Well, I'm assuming you mean that you're trying to make a story where they get their powers, but that's kind of like a side plot and it's not about them getting their powers. And all I can say is that just make the story about something else and write in the powers to go alongside that. And then just don't make the powers the sole focus of the comic, you know? Or the story, I mean. You know, like, have them use their powers, but don't have them focus on it. Like, these powers are all you are, you know? So, yeah, I think that's the best advice I think I can give. Also, again, this is for story-related questions. I'm probably not going to answer a lot of questions that aren't related to it. But yeah. Neko Fangirl, I think this is a good one. Neko Fangirl 29. Could a story get too cluttered? Yes. It's possible. In all honesty, with most things, like, you'll have usually two ends of a spectrum on something, and one extreme is bad and the other extreme is bad. And it's possible for a story to be super empty and vacant, and it's also possible for a story to be super cluttered. Both can happen. So when it comes to a story getting cluttered, again, it depends, because you can execute a cluttered story very well. In all honesty, Lunaverse is probably a very cluttered story. So it's just one of those things that it kind of depends on how you write it. If you write it bad, then, you know, it depends. Like, with many story-related things, it depends. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. Quirmy Snail. What ideas are you planning on putting on the internet / already have put, excluding Gems, Lunaverse, and Seven Sins of the Baby? Well, apparently last night I spoiled the one story I promised myself I was never going to put on the internet until I made the story, but Colorful is a thing. Monsterverse, I guess, is a thing. What else is there? I mean, I have a billion stories. Well, I guess there are some stories that I have in the works. There's an actual story I'm kind of writing for a book that I really need to work on more. There is a story that I was writing on a whim, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm continuing to write it. I'm kind of curious to see how it goes. It was like late night inspiration, so I don't know. I can't keep it. I have so many stories, man. So, Kit Kat the Wolf. Any tips for making a fictional creature's government? I mean, it depends what you're going for in your story, you know? Like, what kind of, you could go off of an existing kind of government, or you could make your own flippin' government, you know? So you're the world's your oyster. Grandma Cat, what personality type would you go with an edgy, depressed, always slightly annoyed aquamarine I have? I want her to have someone within my group of OCs that she is friends with. Also, no Topaz is type, please. I don't know, because like with many things, with romance, it could be many things. It could be a character that goes with them. It could be opposites attract. It could be... It depends on how you write it, because chemistry is a complicated thing, in all honesty. And let me just go on a bit of a side rant about character chemistry when it comes to romance, and even just friendships. Something you'll notice in a lot of things, and I find this more common with romance, so I'm going to be kind of a little bit more focused on the romance, but this also does kind of apply to platonic relationships. But when it comes to characters being together, something I notice that happens a lot is that characters are forced together for the sake of being together. And the thing is, unless your story is a romance, it's gonna feel so forced, it's gonna feel unnatural and unbelievable. Which is actually a reason why any story of mine that isn't centered on romance, if romance happens, it happens naturally. I put characters together because I look at them and think, you know what? If they were locked in a room together for 10 minutes, they'd probably end up kissing. You know, and what's interesting too, just to get a bit more complicated, is that in all honesty, characters aren't always going to be attracted to people with similar personalities. It's a complicated kind of thing. Just because a character might be attracted to or in love with a cheerful, upbeat, optimistic, naive character doesn't mean they're going to be attracted to all cheerful, upbeat, hyper, naive characters. So it's a complicated thing, and I suggest that unless romance is important for your story and that's a part of your story and it's meant to be important, don't force your characters to have relationships that don't work, you know, especially when it comes to romance. So, yeah. Neko Fangirl 29. I have a OC called Pink Tourmaline. I feel like she's too much like Rose. She heals and is pink. Morganite, my Morganite, is pink. Or, well, more peach, but she's pink. She has a shield. She has minor healing powers. So, you know, it's fine. And she's based, yeah. Anyway. Brianna Schwartz, I'm just gonna not say your last name, I'm sorry. Zodiac, all my characters have turned into pansexuals or bisexuals. What should I do? If they work as pansexuals and bisexuals, then there's not really any harm in it, honestly. If you're satisfied with them being all of that and they work like that in the story and that's who they are, then there's no problem, really. I mean, it might be a little unrealistic, depending on the story, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal. 5-ever Chemi Mandarin. How do you build up drama in a story? Again, that's one of those broad questions. I don't entirely know how to answer that. Because, again, it depends. All I can say is let it build up naturally, I guess. But, again, that's such a broad question. Oh, no! Hi, Twisted! You're here! Welcome to the party. Also, there's something that's going to be posted at some point for you. I got it. It's almost ready. If I wasn't streaming, it'd be posted. The moment the stream ends, it's the next thing I'm doing. You better be ready for it. It's coming. Keep an eye out. It's fun. Because you can't one-up me, Twisted. So anyway, I was about to say I'm tired, but really I'm not. I don't know why. I haven't been tired recently. It's very strange, but hey. La 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 la. Swiggity swack, my name is Mac. What do you imagine your Bloodstone's voice sounding like? I have no clue. Oh wow. Boy, I mean, hey, Twisted, I'm down. I'm down. I can pull up Discord. I'm down. It'd be kind of fun. Talk about characters together. I would be down, but yeah. Hang on, what was I even saying a second ago? I was talking about something. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that while I try to remember what I was talking about. So, sorry, chat. I can't read you for a second. Hang on. We're gonna have some fun. And maybe it will be more tolerable to listen to me while and not have me stutter every 5 seconds as I try to think about what I'm talking about. La 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 la. We're gonna try and fill this with filler, cause I don't know cause I can't look at the chat while I'm opening Discord. Oh goodness gracious. Oh man. So yeah, how was everyone's day? There we go. That'll fill something up. How is everyone's day going? Having a fun day? I might go to the zoo tomorrow. That'll be fun. It'll be fun time. Hang on. I got this. Ah! Go away. Just ignore the ums and crap. It's fine. What am I doing? I'm super... It's fine. What am I even looking for? I don't even... Hang on, give me a second. I swear. Welcome to literally... No, Twisted, you're fine. It'll be worth it. It'll be fun. Is that all my thing is? Is that all it is? Am I just looking for way too much? Am I being dumb? I might be being dumb. Oh, there it is. Flippin' hell. There it is. Do. Okay. Oh, I should probably plug in my headphones because I like using and chatting without headphones in, just cause it's more fun, I guess. But anytime I talk with people, they always complain because they can hear an echo because I don't use headphones. So yeah, all right, there we go. It is sent. I finally got it. Jesus. All right. Okay. There we go. Now I can read the chat again. It's fine. All right. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was cut off, and I was being dumb. I can't even blame tiredness because I'm not even tired. I'm just dumb. That's really all it adds up to. Okay. It's just... So anyway, I'm gonna see what else I got. Let's go. Alright. Yay, finally. Goodness gracious. I was not... You can tell how, like, unprepared... I'm always unprepared every time I do any stream ever. It's always just me like, let's just have fun. Let's just have a party and do things. So, yeah, okay. Gonna do a thing. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I okayed you. What was I doing? Sorry, I was reading the chat. Why do I always zoom out? Oh, hey, we know your brother's name is Tyler. Can we know your name? You don't have to answer. My name's Morgan. I don't care. You don't see... Oh, it's because I'm invisible. It's because I'm edgy. Here, I'll go on idle for now. Just... There we go. Now you can see me. Woo. Hello. Yeah, I think so. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I gotta turn on the desktop audio. There we go.
Oh, so can I curse on your channel? Because if not, I need to know.
You
So
can...
that way, because I curse a lot, so I feel like you don't want cursing. I'll like try to be.
You can curse. It's fine.
If I naturally say something, I don't want to be like, Michelle, you can't say this on the channel.
Yeah, it's fine. You can do. I have other friends who've come on. They curse and stuff. So
Okay, hi people.
hi. Oh, sorry, Teen. I know. I went back on my. I said I wasn't gonna let anyone. I was gonna do this solo, but you know.
Oh, am I bad? Did I break
No,
the?
it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
I thought this would be fun.
No, I showed up. I literally showed up because I was like I was eating. You have the worst time in math. I was literally eating dinner and I looked at my phone. It's like Zodiac such. I'm like this bitch again when I'm eating dinner.
I always. There was some other people who were complaining about that earlier because I started streaming and there were people like, why do you always stream when I'm about to go to bed? And I just started laughing because I always just usually stream around the same time. I just like I'll get out of the shower, I'll have like a stream idea in mind. I'm like, let's do it because this is the
Oh my
best
god,
time.
yeah! Since I started streaming on YouTube, I've been doing that, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Because I have people to do. It's like last night, because my sleep schedule is messed up because of the heat.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people. I don't know how. I don't know what it's like for you, but if I'm just sitting there, if I'm not doing anything, and I just start sweating, I get angry, so I can't draw. I'm like, I'm not even doing anything, and I'm just sweating, and it just makes me irritated. So I have to like work at night.
Wow.
So last night I made a little boopy thing to be like, hey, I'm streaming on Picardo, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, why aren't you on YouTube? And I'm like, well, because I can't listen to music on YouTube, and I can't talk because Cody's asleep. So it's one or the other.
Yeah, I saw that you did that, and I was gonna join, but it was also late at night for me, and I was like, you know, I should go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep, obviously, because I was awake when you.
It's a good thing you didn't, because you would have seen your surprise.
I know you. I was up enough. I was. Thank goodness I wasn't, or I wouldn't have seen your one up of me.
I know, right?
God, how dare you?
A lot of new people are like, oh hi.
Hi.
Do people recognize my voice? Holy crap, that's weird.
Yeah, this is. If any of you haven't followed TwistedDisaster yet, you need to go do that right now.
Oh no, you don't have to shout me out.
No, I do.
No.
I have to one up you somehow.
Oh, fight me.
Let's go.
Okay, do you still have a DeviantArt? I do. I think Zodiac. Yeah, you're active on your DA.
I'm super active on DA. I've been posting like every day for the past week.
I know, man. You've been getting characters out the yin yang. I'm impressed.
I know. I don't do anything else, so it's gonna be different when school starts, and then I'm just gonna be sad.
TwistedDisaster and ZodiacLord. This is the first time this has ever happened, by the way. This wasn't planned.
Yeah, this is not planned. This just happened.
Also, hopefully my washing machine in the background, it's not a washing machine, but everybody's like, why do you have a washing machine? I'm like, it's a swamp cooler, okay? Because the house we're staying in for the summer doesn't have air conditioning, and it's hot, so we need it on. Okay, so let's see. You were talking about characters and junk.
Yeah, we were.
So, alright. Is there, oh my god, I just still find it so funny that, like, when I was doing my stream, and you were losing your shit. Cause like, yeah, that's thought of that too.
I know, it was because like when I was doing that, I was watching it as a late at night, and because of where I was, I really should have been sleeping, and everyone else was asleep, and it's like a small echoey house. So, like I was doing that, like, you know, I'm a rebel. I can get away with this. It's fine. And I just started watching, and I was just screaming about how like all of that, and I'm just trying so hard not to start like just die of laughter. It was so hard.
Oh no, oh my god, okay, that happens all the time. Especially when we're gonna have to, because we have to move back in with my in-laws.
Yeah.
It's the house is so like it's a big ass house, but it's so quiet. So like you can hear everything. So I'm always like I make little things, and they can hear me from the other end of the house, and I'm like, great.
Oh my god. Yeah. In fact, I only ever stream at like there's only like one place where I do stream, just because I have like the upstairs room and I have that all to myself, and I can be as passionate and as aggressive as I want.
Oh, okay. We have a question. Does anyone have the? I want to know if you have any advice on plot twists. Ooh. This is fun. I love plot twists. Okay, I think here's the problem with a lot of plot twists is avoid. Okay, so I do this podcast on my channel because I love reading books, and I hate because the past 2 fucking books I've read in a row, okay, had the secret princess fucking plot twist. And I'm like, the second I'm reading all this shit, I'm like, main character's the princess. End of the book. You're the princess. Oh my god. I'm just like, I'm so sick of that plot twist.
Yeah, it's
plot
also
twist can be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it also just depends how it's executed too, because like with the princess one, it sometimes it's just like it's so obvious that it doesn't just doesn't surprise you. Like, I'm sure there's, like, good ways to do it and stuff, but then...
Oh, no, there definitely are good ways to do it. Like, I read another book recently. It's called The Ables.
Yeah.
Really good book. I totally suggest it to anybody. It's okay, did you ever... This is going to be a bad example. Did you ever watch movies like Sky High and stuff like that?
I did.
Okay, so it takes place in a world like that, so it's a world of superheroes, but the main character is a blind telekinetic.
Oh. That sounds fun.
It's really fun, and like they have the chosen one trope.
Yeah.
But the way it was written, I actually didn't know who it was. I was so sure I knew who it was, and the twist came, and it actually was so well written that I wanted to reread the book and like see what I missed.
Yeah, like.
So.
Yeah, I think plot twists can be so well done and so cool, but it's just sometimes it's a tricky thing to write too, because you can't have it come so out of nowhere that it's unbelievable. Like, just like, oh, you're totally making up. There was, like, nothing that could have been suspected. But it also can't be, like, foreshadowed so much that the person can already predict it.
Yeah, I think that was my problem with the princess trope. In both books I read, they overly emphasize this, like, fallen kingdom constantly. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't need to reread this every chapter.
Yeah, I thought of a game which was like Life is Strange.
Oh, I love Life is Strange. Yeah, that is a perfect example of a plot twist drama.
Yeah. Like I was cuz I played it myself afterwards, but like when I first quote unquote saw it, it was just through a playthrough, but I watched it like a no commentary playthrough, so I could just see the story for it at least. And when I was like watching the whole thing, because you just play the whole game, and then like you find out like the plot twist. Just not to spoil it. Go play it. It's a good game if anyone hasn't played it.
Spoiler warning! Spoiler warning!
Yeah,
spoiler
I'm gonna try and dance around it so I don't spoil it. But you find out like the plot twist with the character that like apparently they were supposed to die. That's all I'm gonna say. And but like you find out this plot twist and it's really shocking, but then you go back and you think about the story and you realize, holy shit,
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they were telling us this the whole time. And it was so like
it's okay. Long story short, Life is Strange is a time travel story done right, in my opinion, because there are so many time travel stories with so many plot holes in it. That, like, okay, I know it's funny because I recently watched your video today about your Mary Sue thing.
Oh boy.
And I actually love Harry Potter. So.
Oh, exciting.
So I know I'm a fan of things, but I don't excuse things. Like my favorite video game series of all time is BioShock, and my friend's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh no, it's got its faults. I'm not gonna say it's the best game in the universe, but I think if it's your favorite game, you should accept the faults with the pros, kind of thing."
If you love something enough, you're gonna you want
Yeah.
to see it get better, and so you're gonna you notice the flaws.
Yeah. So like with Harry Potter, the biggest thing that anybody ever talked about was the time turner thing. I know you said you didn't pay attention to it, but pretty much in the third book slash third movie, out of nowhere, Hermione pulls out pretty much I'm gonna go back in time machine, and everybody's like, why didn't she just go back in time and kill Voldemort? And like they
yeah.
always brought that up. They were like, yeah, and so like, and the thing was because it's like it's in that one book and then never acknowledged again. And then in like one of the later books, it's like, oh, so and so destroyed all the time turners in the world, so we can't go back in time. And I'm like you still could have gone back in time previously,
like
then,
when they weren't all destroyed.
Yeah, and then oh my god,
use your resources when you have them.
And then they made the playbook that came out recently, and I read that too. And oh boy, oh my god. Okay, so that for a play, it makes a lot of sense. For a play.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a terrible story if you read it by itself. But it's like, when I was reading, I'm like, okay, I can see this being an okay play. But reading the script, I was like, the fuck am I reading?
Oh my goodness.
Because they get one of those time turner things, and they end up going back in time like 9 times and keep fucking up the future. And I'm just sitting here like, so you can't go back in time years because this takes place.
You
like
just chose not to.
Yeah. I'm like, you just chose. I'm like this because they're like, oh, this is a special. So I'm like, nah. You put this loophole into the universe. You can't take it out now.
You can't take that one back.
So it's yeah. That's like I was bringing up where it's like, you also don't want to have a MacGuffin like that if you have a very important thing in your story.
Yeah.
Like, another good example of a good plot twist is like The Sixth Sense, before M. Night Shyamalan got kind of known for his twists.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense plot twist is good, but like that's we went on so many tangents there. I'm sorry. People are like already asking questions, and I feel bad we got on.
Tangents are fun.
Oh, the time turner thing is because you can't go back to your present. What? I already have a cactus calculator. That's nice. Okay, hang on. Important question. Don't forgive Snape. Oh no, I hate Snape. I don't care. I hated that excuse. Because, like, okay, I know you never really watched it, but Snape, especially in the books, because I'm rereading the books,
I forgot
how much. Oh, yeah?
The most I know about Snape, other than, like, the stuff with the actor, was Severus
Snape.
That's all I know.
Okay, well, like, okay. I hated that. I hated his little, like, oh, well, he was good. I'm like, no, he did some pretty messed up shit to the kids. But it's okay. And then it's, like, kind of creepy at the same time. Like, I never was able to forgive Snape. Because pretty much you find out that Snape has been an asshole throughout the entire series. But he's always been, like, that good guy, asshole kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good guy, but he's doing... But it's, like, like in the books, it's a lot worse. It's a lot worse, the shit he does. And then it's like, at the very end, Harry's like... Yeah.
I want to say, Quabbleberry says, thank God Twisted isn't a Snape apologist.
No, it made me so mad, because I used to love Snape. I did. The movies did a lot better job of, like, making him not as weird. But when the big twist happened at the end, when it's like, he was good all along, you want to know why? Why he was such an asshole to Harry the whole time? Oh, he loved his mom.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and so even though, like, Harry's mom was married to Harry's, like, dad, Snape was like, I love you, and Lily's like, oh, I know, but we're just friends. And then she fucking dies, and it's like, the reason why he hates Harry so much is because he looks so much like Lily, but then it's like, I can't kill you because Lily loved you. I'm like, okay, dude, that's kind of weird. It's a little weird that, like, you're so obsessive with your friend who didn't love you back. And then people are like, oh my god, Snape was just protecting Harry the whole time. And I'm like, no.
Where was the protection there?
I mean, he saved Harry from not dying, but I mean, so did a lot of people. I didn't know, like, Dumbledore at the end either. It's both kind of assholes.
I mean, saving people is just kind of a thing everyone wants to kind of do.
No, wait, that isn't even the whole story. I know it's not the whole story. I know that. But it's just so bad. I know it's not the whole bad backstory, but that's the gist of it. Because then they're like, oh, see, everybody, Snape was a good guy. I'm like, no, you still did douchey things.
Yeah, I was like, I remember the time distinctly whenever like Harry Potter was like the big thing. I think it was like before Hunger Games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been like a hipster at heart. So it's like there's just anytime there's like a popular book series or movie, I just like sometimes it's out of spite that I don't go and I don't like get like
Oh no,
read it or
no,
whatever.
that's fine. That's happened to me because like I think with me with Harry Potter, the reason why I loved it so much was I didn't read the books. I fell in love with the movies first as a kid,
Mm.
and then I read the books. So I grew up with the movies, but then again, like because I know I'm older than you, so I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
I know I'm not older. I know I'm not older by much, but like when the Harry Potter movie came out, I was 11. So it's
Ah.
like I like aged with it, so it was a part of like my generation. Like almost everyone in my generation loved Harry Potter
Yeah.
because we grew up with it. I sound so fucking old saying that, but no, it's like but it's the same with the Hunger Games. Like I liked the Hunger Games, I did, but I feel like the hype kind of killed it.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like that's true with a lot of things. Like,
yeah, because I mean another thing too is like I liked when Frozen came out. I liked Frozen when it
I
came out. I
I did
liked it.
too, and I can't ever say that because everyone will cringe at me or whatever, but like I
It
liked
was,
I
but that
loved
was
yeah, I
yeah.
love the idea of Frozen and like the directions they took with it, but like the hype just killed it for me.
Okay, like did you ever work retail? Have
No.
you ever worked retail? Okay,
No.
so I worked retail when this movie came out.
Yeah.
This also helped kill it for me.
Oh
I've
boy.
talked about this on my channel, but um, I would have like adults coming up to me, like adults or like teenagers coming up to me while I'm stocking the children's toy section. It is very clearly a children's toy section. I'm holding Elsa baby dolls, okay? And they'd come up to me and they'd be like, "Where's your adult Frozen merchandise?" And I'm like, "Oh, we have clothes in the." No, no, no. You don't understand. Elsa is me.
Oh my god.
And I wish this happened once. This happened to me nearly every day.
Oh my
Where I'd have
god.
some, and I just started hating. I just started hating it slowly and slower because it was like all these edgy hipster bastards that would come up and be like, "You don't understand. Elsa's like the best Disney princess." And then I would, like, I was working, so I could never be myself back. But in my head, I'm like, "Well, she's technically a queen. You uneducated idiot."
Right.
But okay, you just believe.
Where's your adult merchandise?
Yeah, it's like I'm like I don't know. Try Hot Topic. I work at a Target. I mean, I loved working at Target, so I'm not even like shitting on Target. That was one of the best places I ever worked for retail.
Oh wow.
So, but it was just like I had so many people, and it happened to my buddy Aerofix too, because she used to work at a fabric store. She would get people every day coming in. Where's your blue sparkly Elsa
What the
fabric? And she's
hell?
just like, we have blue fabric, we got sparkle stuff, you got to make it. Well, I want to make my daughter an Elsa dress, and she's like, yeah, you and every other mom, okay? Just please leave me alone.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love like I really enjoyed Frozen. In all honesty, I thought it was like I love what they did with like the true love thing not being
Yeah,
romantic.
I
Like
like that too. I hated the trolls though. I felt like the trolls were
yeah,
shoehorned in.
yeah, the trolls were like kind of weird. Like it just kind of came in out of
You heard
nowhere.
about Frozen 2, right?
Is that a thing that's actually gonna happen?
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to play a guy in it.
Oh goodness.
I know, I know.
Oh boy,
But it's happening, it's happening.
that's gonna be interesting.
The Frozen plot twist was terrible. I actually kind of liked the plot twist in Frozen.
I,
Just because it was, it's not perfect.
it was kind of predictable, but
Well, it's a Disney movie. You
yeah,
can't really get, like, as bad as this to say Disney does have a Disney, and I like Disney.
yeah.
I like Disney. But Disney does have the Disney formula.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is though too, like I've always said, context matters so much with stories, and like
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to Frozen, like yeah, the plot twist wasn't the most like jaw dropping, whoa, I never saw that coming kind of thing ever, but it's a movie for kids, kids who went,
Exactly.
yeah, kids who go and see that, I guarantee you,
Sorry.
most of them probably weren't expecting it, like.
Oh, Wabs, White. Can you repost your question? I'm distracting Zodiac because they're like, "Can I just want Zodiac to answer my question?"
I
Sad
know, it's
face,
so
and I'm like,
weird.
"I can't." I'm like looking back. I'm like, "I can't find your question, Wabs. Right? Wabs White. I can't say your username. It's like there's two W's.
Wabs White.
Wabs White. Am I right? I'm not trying to insult you. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at pronouncing names.
Hey, don't worry. There's just Anytime, like, I'll get people who will just, I'll look at their username, like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call you with the nickname. I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna butcher it.
So, I think another thing that killed me for Frozen, while I wait for Wabs White to get back, you got it spot on. Yay! Yay! I got it! Well, I wait for Wabs White to write their comment, was I think, what also killed it for me was Frozen. I was also in college at the time, and I heard Let It Go playing on my college campus all the time.
Oh, good.
All the time. And I'm like, why is Frozen?
It's such a good song, but once you hear it so many times.
I know, but that's why I'm like, I'm in college. I want to do my algebra.
Oh, goodness.
But, okay.
Yeah.
Wabs,
we're waiting on the edge of our seats.
I know, hold on, wait. Okay, here's another one. How do you find the motivation to continue your stories? My stories are, at least for mine, they're pretty in-depth, so I'm like, if I don't finish them, I'm gonna die, and no one's gonna know how it ends.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark, but that's kind of what I think of.
I don't even, it's just, for me, I just have a very deep passion with making stories and stuff like that, and like something I think other people who've like watched me for a long time know, I like swing in and out of phases with my own stories. Oh yeah, by the way, Wabs, you can ask your question now.
I think that's smart. Yeah, I was to say, go ahead and ask your question. Yeah. But no, I think that's actually very smart because like even though I have my main one marked, sometimes I'm just so burnt down on it that I can't work on it. So I actually have another steampunk vampire story that I work on just for fun. And even then, sometimes I don't want to work on any story. I just want to have characters that are fun designs that I just want to draw. Where I'm like, you know what? I like you. I'm going to draw you and not think about it.
Yeah, that's just like with me. Okay, we got Wabs' question finally. Okay. Hey, I have an idea for a world. It's like a beautiful New York City kind of thing with plants on the roofs, and it's really friendly. I was hoping for excitement in it, but I don't have ideas. Any help?
Oh, well, you know what you could do? That's actually really easily. You could do a utopian fantasy in that case. Because, like, a lot of people are big on the dystopian thing now, where it's, oh, it's the end of the world and everything's shitty. But there was a book series I liked. The first one's the only good one. Never read the other ones.
Oh boy.
I think it's called like Matched or something.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
And it actually takes place in this utopian society, but because it's so perfect, no one knows how to read or write.
Ah, yeah.
And it's like there's no crime, there's no war. They describe it as this beautiful place, and it's like so perfect in utopia that they even have like, oh, okay, when you're matched, this is the guy you're gonna bone for the rest of your life because you guys are like a perfect match, kind of thing. And it talks about how like, oh, isn't this society great? But the main chick is like, well, wait, there's this guy that no one else can seem to like see, but I can see him. Why is he here? And then they're like, oh, what guy? And then it's like this big kind of, it's a love triangle, but it's a decent enough to like, where I'm like, that's actually really, and I was more interested in the world than the actual plot, because they talked about this world being this like really great, happy place. And early on, this isn't a spoiler, but like really early on, the main character's grandfather dies, and she like picked his favorite poem. And he's like, no, I wanted you to write me one. And she's like, but we don't know how to write. And he's like, oh yeah, I know. I wish we did, because they literally got rid of like everything. Like there's only like 100 poems left in the world. Yeah. There's only like 100 books, 100 paintings, so there's nothing new. But everybody's kind of happy and okay with it. But then it's like when you think about it, even though it's happy and okay, it's also really creepy and unsettling. Because there's a lot of times like that.
I actually, because I've never read Matched, and I will say that I do wish that there were more.
The first one's the only good one. Don't read the others. It just goes so bad.
Yeah, because. Like, I do see a lot of dystopian kind of things, and I do wish there were more stories that kind of went for a utopia kind of thing.
A really good one is, did you ever see The Giver?
I've heard about it. I've never seen it.
That's a really good one. That's a really good... Do not watch the trailer.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. If you read the book or watch the movie, don't watch the trailer, just get it. The trailer ruins the most important plot twist.
Oh, dang.
So, like, it's best to go in completely blind, but it is also a very good example of a utopian society that isn't that perfect, even though it, like, finger quote is.
Yeah. Like, I remember towards kind of the end-ish of school last year, my best friend and I, we'll come up with stories out of nowhere, and then we'll kind of work on them, and then we'll just kind of like, whatever, and we'll just move on to something else. But, But hey, it's fun. And I remember because I've never read Matched, never
Hmm.
even I've seen like the book covers and stuff like that. Never knew what it was about. I just assumed it had something to do with romance. Um,
My friend bought it for me because I thought the same thing. Because I was like, I don't want to read about a love triangle again. But then I was reading it and I'm like, huh, this is actually pretty interesting. And then the other two books are ass. So I'm just, if you ever read it, just read the first one and just pick an ending because it goes off like a knockoff Hunger Games in the other books, and I'm like, oh come on, you had
oh
a
man.
chance here.
Yeah, it's but I remember because we came up, or kind of I came up with, I guess,
Uh huh.
with like a plot for a story, and my friend's like, that reminds me of Match, and I'm like, you know what?
Oh, I
um,
hate that. I get that all the time. Oh, hey Zodiac, can you do a brief exclamation? Great grammar, Michelle. Explanation of the Lunarverse.
hang
And
on.
I'm new to seeing it, and it looks really interesting. I ended up knowing more about the parents than the main characters, it seems, though. Well,
Hang
I
on.
mean, you did just post stuff about the main characters' parents. That makes sense.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta check something real quick. So you'll have to
Oh,
entertain my stream for a second.
oh shit. Okay. Hi, people. Hi. I don't know where Zodiac went, and I have allergies, so hopefully the sniffling isn't bad. I have copy pasting for 30 minutes. What? Monty Jorgensen? Hold on, let me look up. Can you give a critique on my story? There is an eclipse. He's a celestial. All of the planets are celestials, but he has a child of the sun and moon. He has roommate May. It's kind of slice of life. Okay, can you? I'm so sorry. Can you please reword your?
I'm
Can you
back.
just reword it? I'm a little confused on the explanation here.
I'm
Morty
back.
Jorgensen. Oh hi.
I thought I heard someone like, because there's a door to the little like media room I use, and I
Mm-hmm.
swore I heard someone like very quietly knocking on it, because like people know if they can hear me like talking from the other side, then I'm probably
Mm-hmm.
either like recording something or whatever. So I thought I heard it, and I opened the door, and no one was there, and I just kind of sighed like, it's the ghosts again.
Oh, I have that happen. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. I was just confused. That's all. If you could reword it. How do I design stuff for Redbubble? I draw it and then I put it on Redbubble.
Yeah, I.
Honestly, though, I would suggest do whatever it is on like at least 3,000 by 3,000 pixels for it to look nice if you want it big. But if you're just doing a sticker, oh, I hate Maximum Ride. I hate Maximum Ride. I'm sorry.
I had a lot of friends that were like super into it, and I read like, I tried reading this book, and I couldn't do it, and then I tried reading like the manga thing, and I couldn't
Oh
get
my
very
god, they
far.
made a manga.
Yeah, I did.
I know they made a movie, but I didn't know they made a
Oh
manga.
yeah, there is a manga.
Oh, is
That
it
was the thing that
decent?
I think I read first, but I couldn't really get into it. It just was not for me.
Oh, okay. You want to do your story based on Greek gods, but I want to add my own twist to it. One of them changing their name and gender. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, what is this? There's this comic out. I think it's called The Divine, where it's about how like all it's either like all the gods of like every universe something that get reincarnated every so many like eons, and but when they're reincarnated they can only live 7 years and they know who they are as people. So in this like thing, like Satan is a fucking pop star, and Aphrodite is running like a talk show host,
Oh my
and it's
god.
actually like really funny. So yeah, if you want to do Greek gods but like your own twist slice of life thing, I say go for it. I think that's a good idea.
That sounds legitimately amazing. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I think I was
Have
saying
you read? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I thought I was saying something before like my flippin' resident ghost decided to bug me. Um,
Oh, I wanted to know your opinion on creating languages for your OCs. I really want to do it, but I don't want to botch it. Oh, okay. I'm actually really good at this. If you don't have anything on this, I'm actually really good on this one.
I was about to say I have no clue what to tell you. So
Okay, so here's the thing. If you want to do languages and you want to have like a second language kind of thing, like in my main story, it takes place in this really big world. So there's common, but because I don't have a better name for it right now, so I just basic bitch fantasy common,
it
and then
makes
I
sense.
have languages for like each of like the provinces, like like in countries and shit. So there's a lot of the main characters in the main cast who have very thick accents, but they know common. But there'll be moments where I'll be like they don't understand certain things, so they get aggravated and they'll fall into their actual native tongue. because I also live in California, so I deal with a lot of people who have like second languages, and so I think that's a big problem. Is you'll see people who will be like, unless they're fluent in it, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm this is my second language, but then they'll like talk like a perfectly grammatically correct sentence, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't so good. But it's like, no, realistically, they would be a little nervous, they would like stutter over words, and then like if they were aggravated, you would have them fall back into their native tongue because that's what they're used to.
Because yeah, it's an emotional thing.
Yeah, so like that's an easier thing to do with that. Another thing too is like, unless their section, like the reasons why my characters have is like where they live are important. I think it's all like writing diverse characters. You shouldn't have diverse characters for diverse characters' sake.
Yeah, that's something I notice a lot, and it kind of ticks me off a little bit.
Yeah, because I've had people come to me and be like, "Oh my god, you have such a colorful cast. Why is?" I'm like, "Well, each character is from like a different part of the world, so it would make sense."
Yeah, and
Like,
I've seen it before, especially in kind of more recent media. You'll see it all the time, like characters that are kind of made to be diverse solely just to get that diversity credit kind of thing.
yeah, no, there was a recent book that came out because I watch a lot of booktubers, and I can't even touch this book. It just hurts me. Because like all the booktubers like, oh my god, it's so amazing. There's a trans character and a polyamorous character and a gender fluid character
Mm.
and the main character is biracial and no 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 no. Oh, and there's a Taylor Swift reference in it, and I'm just like, oh, I'm never touching this thing. Nope, nope, you stay away from me.
I always feel spooked anytime I hear someone say, "There's a trans character."
Well, because it's never usually done right.
Yeah, and the biggest issue, and this is, yay, we're back to writing advice. But the biggest issue I see whenever a lot of things write in like trans characters is that they make that they're transgender like all that they are.
Yeah, it's not a fucking personality trait.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I hate
Like,
it.
if, in my opinion, and because like me being trans, I kind of have more I guess I take it more personally. But like, what people I think don't seem to realize, a common misconception, is that I don't refer to myself as trans. It might come up in a conversation or someone might ask and I'll be like, yeah, I am, whatever. But like, people ask me, are you a boy? And I'll just say yes. Like, I'm not transgender, I'm a boy. That's how I think of it. So to me, if you're gonna have a trans character, unless it's relevant to the story, you never need to say it.
Exactly, because like that was happening in another book too, where I was reading a horror book, and the main character was talking to their best friend, and like I don't know, like, oh yeah, so and so was born a girl, but they're a guy, and I'm like, why was that necessary? Like, if they're your best friend and you're okay with trans people, you would be like, this is my best friend, whatever the McFuck. I don't remember his name, but I'm like, why is it necessary unless unless you're writing a story that is about like a transgender struggling with like transitioning.
Yeah, like
that to me is the only excuse.
Yeah, if it's important and relevant and has some effect on the story, then that's the only time you ever need to mention it.
Exactly. It's like, okay, like I'm a bisexual, so I see like a lot of bisexual bad representation in the media. Same for gay people. And they'll be like, I can't tell you how many times people come up to me when they find out, and they're like, "Oh my god, so do you and Cody like have three-ways all the time?" And I'm like, "No, I'm in a monogamous relationship." "Oh, so you're straight?" "No, I didn't say that." But so you have a girlfriend? "No, I had a girlfriend, but no, I'm monogamous." "Oh, well then, so how are you bi?" "I don't know, dude. I find chicks hot. I find dudes hot. Doesn't really matter." And then I'll see it in the media. Like, I always thought of it really funny as like, because my mom loves rom-coms, and I told my friends this. I want to see a rom-com where it's the dude, because you never see bisexual dudes. You never see bisexual dudes ever.
That is very true. And like, you never see bisexual dudes, and you rarely ever see lesbian women unless it's for a comedic thing.
Exactly, or it was a phase.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, what was it like? Okay, like the idea for like my rom-com was that it would be like, it would be like, oh, my crazy ex is in town, but the ex is a dude, and so it would be like, oh, see, it's a little different, but like he's not like an overly flamboyant gay guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it would be like a funny rom-com. I'm like, see, that'd be great. Will it get made? Probably not, because to most people in the media, it'll be like, oh, if there's a bisexual one, it's got to be a hot chick.
Of course.
It's got to be a hot chick. She's got to be totally open about it,
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, why is that necessary? you know what I mean? And it's always kind of bothered me like that. So, and it's the same with like Cody, because Cody was raised by two gay guys. So whenever he would grow up and see gay people, he's like, gay people don't act like that. Why is the gay best friend your personality trait in? Like, this was huge
Yeah.
back in like old sitcom shows.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a perfect example of this is sad because I love the show How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Barney's brother is gay, and like when he's first introduced, it's like superly flamboyant, and then he like gets a personality later on.
Yeah.
But I was like, why did he have to be, you know, the gay guy that was the man whore?
Yeah, and I'm actually, I kind of know, like, I know, because I actually really love, even me, like, even my mom does. She got, like, introduced through me, and she's like, why do you watch this show? And then she actually watched it, and she's like, I love this show. But I actually I watched Modern Family a lot.
Yeah, Cody's family loves that show,
Yeah,
so I watch it from time to time.
And I love it because, it's, like, weirdly relatable, and it's just kind of things that you kind of, like, it doesn't surprise you. And of course, they have one of the families is the two gay guys.
Yeah, and they have the adopted little daughter.
Yeah, and they have the daughter. And I love it because, like, you could tell that Cam is supposed to be kind of the typical gay guy, but Mitchell is not. It's like, well, still kind of is, but like less so. But they actually have like defined characters that are interesting beyond just them being gay.
Yeah,
like,
they're a relationship. Like, you can actually see they care about each other.
Yeah, and that's what it just really ticks me off whenever I see characters and it's like, oh, they're gay. That's pretty much all they are. What?
Oh my god!
What?
I just saw a comment. Don't call yourself a pansexual unless you deep throated a pan. Sorry, that was amazing.
well, it looks like I'm not a pansexual anymore. Whoops.
It's just like, and I've got like, it's great. I've got nothing wrong with it. It's just I hate seeing it in media where, again, that's the personality trait. Because I'll get questions like that too. It's like, oh, how do I write? I want to have an Indian character, and I'm like, okay, well, like first of all, which kind of Indian? Like Native American Indian or like Indian? And they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if it doesn't matter,
no, it does.
Why are you asking?
They look very different, and they have very different origins and face shapes.
No, I know. I know, but then I'll see people do that, and it's like, I'm like, okay, like, is there a reason for this? Or is it just a normal story? It's like, you know, I don't know. I think of it like the Hunger Games things. I remember when the Hunger Games thing came out in the book, the character of Rue was always described as dark skin. This is the future, so they really aren't like, there aren't African Americans, there aren't Mexicans. They don't really describe people like that because it's a dystopian future. Right. So she was dark skinned and stringy hair. I always kind of pictured a black chick. And then they hired a black girl for her, and like I remember people like, why is Rue a black actress? I'm like, does it really matter? They just said dark skin and stringy hair.
Yeah, like, and that's a thing too, is that, because like it depends on setting as well. Like, for example, like there's people who get like super pissed off whenever there's like war movies that are like all white guys, and it's like, that's super...
Oh my god! Oh yeah, I love you, dude, I love you. I'm the same way with historically accurate movies.
I really like I can understand like if there is a movie that has some like variety, if it's based because the actor's good, you know, like, okay, whatever.
Exactly.
But like
okay, a perfect example of that is what was it, the Days of Future Past? I think not Days of Future Past, the Apocalypse one, the X-Men one, where they had that's Days of Future Past, I'm pretty sure. Is it Days of Future Past?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it's the one where it's got Tyrion Lannister as the guy, and in the comics, he's always been this like big burly white guy. Yeah. But they made him, Peter Beagle. The actor is clearly a dwarf, but that didn't like change his character at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a good example of it.
Yeah, like my thing when it comes to that kind of stuff, and like people don't seem to realize, because I'm like kind of an actor-ish. I do like shows in my school, and it's like,
cool.
I know that, like, from what I know, it's just, there's like it's kind of a thing, like, listen, if you're ever gonna do theater, you have, like, especially if you're like, voice acting is different, but like if you're gonna do theater on stage or in movies especially, you're gonna get typecasted based on your gender and your appearance and stuff like that. It's how it is, because sometimes you just gotta look the part in some cases. But like, for me, it's like with historically accurate movies, if a director decides, hey, we have all these like white male actors that can play the part well and it's historically accurate, then why not? You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it is kind of cool. Like if you see, and of course, if it happens to be like somebody else who's not white or not a man, and they can play the part well, then that's the like, then there shouldn't really be a reason not to, unless someone else can do it better than them. But I just hate it whenever people flip out because like there's not diversity in a movie. Well, like, what if it's based on the actor?
Or what if it's based on a true story? Like I know oh my god, the movie I think it was called The Imitation Game. It was the one where they talk about Alan Turing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy who pretty much invented the fucking computer.
Yeah.
And I remember when that came out, a lot of people I know, because I was in college at the time, were bitching about why aren't there more black people in it? And I'm like, it's taking place during World War II in England.
Yeah.
Yes, there were black people, but I'm sorry, they weren't as prominent as they are now. I know it sounds bad, but that's kind of how it was back then, especially in the military.
Yeah, it's just accurate. It's not racist, it's accurate. Like,
I think that's a big problem is I see people like that, like, oh, okay, so funny story, since we're talking about this. Have you ever seen Mad Men?
I don't think so.
Okay, it is a very, very good retelling of what life was like in the late 50s, early 60s. And it is like accurate to a T. I was honestly shocked. I mean, I was never there, but like in like the first episode, you see a very pregnant mom smoking a cigarette, and I was like, what? And then I'm like, wait a minute, that was so common back then. That was so common.
Sorry. You want to finish?
Go ahead. Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, I just saw someone comment, and they said, oh boy, we're coming back to musicals again. But they said like, what about like Hamilton? I can't find it.
Oh, see, I've been trying to stay in the dark about Hamilton.
I know, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but oh, here it is. Okay, what about Hamilton? Hamilton casted many black actors, but it's not historically accurate.
Well, there you go. It's not historically accurate.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. From what I know, the actors in Hamilton play their parts well. So for that, I think, okay, if you're picking talent over race and it's just meant to tell a story, then to me, it doesn't really matter. You know, if they're good actors. If you're picking them
with the talent.
Yeah, if you're picking them because you're trying to get that diverse credit, that's different, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you never want to be that guy where it's like, oh, okay, you got hired because you're Mexican.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds really bad, but I actually know a lot of people where they're like, they were told because their jobs, they're like, oh yeah, they said they needed to fill like their Mexican quota, so I got hired. And I'm like,
that's like a thing now, and it bugs me a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you feel about that? He's like, I don't feel like I did good. I mean,
it almost feels like you're getting kind of like the participation ribbon. Like, oh, well, we didn't hire you because you were skilled and we thought you were fit for the job. We're hiring you because of how you look.
Yeah.
You know, and like that irritates me because if I ever try to get a job in the future or whatever, I'm almost like worried that like me being trans or whatever will get me hired just because I'm trans, which I mean, I wouldn't complain if it's a job I really want, but it'd still bother me.
Yeah, because it bottom line, it goes down to it feels like you didn't try, and like, why did I get that? That's not how I think of it anyway. But what was I gonna say? Oh, about the Mad Men thing. I remember. I was someone on my Facebook feed. I know we're not Facebook friends, but they were talking about how like, oh my god, I just watched this show Mad Men, and it's so racist and so sexist. And so I commented back. I'm like, well, yeah, it's a historically accurate show that takes place in the late 50s, early 60s. And they're like, Michelle, you support that? And I was like, what?
Oh, God.
Where in my comments saying that this happened in history says that I support it?
In all honesty, yeah, it was racist. That's what I was
like, I'm not saying it's good. It wasn't good. I was raised Jewish. How many Jew jokes do you hear on a daily basis? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like a whole other thing too, because there's people who seem to think like if you portray something through a character or a story, like suddenly that's what you believe.
Yeah. Again, unless it matters. Like if you're reading a book, like I remember I had to read this book. It actually really messed me up in high school.
1 second, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Oh, okay. Go do your thing. It's the ghost again. Anyway, when I was in high school, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was a book about a Holocaust survivor escaping an internment camp. Obviously, that book's going to be about why he's a Jew, because he's in an internment camp. That makes sense. But if it's just like a random, like if you're gonna have a random, historical fantasy, their religion shouldn't matter to the plot of the story unless it does matter to the plot of the story. I think it was Night. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it was called Night. And it's just like, unless, that's what I think it boils down to, is it's just, you need to have the story in mind and then have it come later. Again, if you want to tell a historical story about, how some people escaped slavery, then yes, obviously their skin color is going to play into that. But if you want to do just like a superhero book, where it doesn't matter, then it shouldn't matter. I'm not saying I don't have diverse characters.
I'm just jumping in, pretend I think I know what you're talking about, but hi.
Okay, well, no, I was talking about how, I think because people keep asking that question, I was like, when I was in high school, I had to read a book about, a Holocaust survivor. Mm-hmm. So obviously, the guy being a Jew was kind of important to the plot.
Yeah.
Because, that's why he was in an internment camp. And so it's like, that makes sense. But if it was like a random superhero thing, why does him being a Jew matter?
Exactly.
That's what I'm kind of talking about.
I feel like with a lot of stories, it's become so, focused on, we gotta have that diversity in there. That we're not focusing on.
And then it feels weird.
Yeah, because
did you watch the Archie reboot?
I think I heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh my god. If you want to have a good time because of just bad writing and terrible direction, watch Riverdale. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. It's so bad and weird, but I'm sorry if anyone in your chat likes it, but literally you can have a drinking checklist of every race, every sexuality, mentioning Twitter. It's all there. It's like people have like, you can turn this into like a PC drinking game.
Oh goodness. There's a point whenever you become so focused on being PC and including everyone that you sacrifice the story because of it.
Exactly, yeah. Zodiac and Twist, can you guys help with world creation? Ooh. That's kind of like a very, very heavy wording. I don't know where to start.
You see, as is in my lovely gradient text here, that's what we called very general. It's a very.
Oh, I didn't even read that. I should probably read this.
It just says just like what questions people can ask, and then it just says please try to be specific because stories are so dependent on many factors, so.
Well, no, again, creation of planets is also that's kind of a vague. What Zodiac? Could you please? You were going to before the ghost showed up. Oh, you were gonna. Okay, so you were gonna answer a question before the ghost showed up. Fuck, what was the question? I'm trying to scroll back up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, hang on, I'm gonna find it.
I'm looking to. Can you resend?
Yeah, resend it. We'll find it. Determination.
Oh, I shouldn't have come. I distract you.
It's fine.
Okay. Oh, they wanted an explanation, like a brief They wanted to talk about Luniverse.
Oh, no.
We can't talk.
We're not. Oh, boy. Okay. Everyone ready for, the rest of the stream just to be about my own story again? Oh, goodness. This is how all my streams are.
That happened to my live stream when we realized we're, kindred spirits.
Yeah, it happens every other stream because I love talking about it. So the moment one person lures me in, I just forget that everyone else is there, and I'm like, let's just talk about my own stuff.
It's the trap. I feel bad because they're like, where can you read it? I'm like, well, it's not done yet.
Teeny just described my thoughts perfectly. Is there even a way of briefly talking about Luniverse? No. All I know is how to say it. It's that it's 10 characters that should not be roommates are roommates. And it's just a bunch of stories that shouldn't be related, but they're related.
Oh, how would I fix it? Oh, she would die. She would fucking die. It would give some depth to the characters.
Oh, goodness.
Because I read the Twilight books, and I was like, you know what? If she actually died, and we went to another person's point of view for the rest of it, I'm like, wow, something mattered.
You just gave me a really, interesting idea for a story. Okay.
Well, because they died?
No, because I was thinking, like, oh, we're talking about Bella Swan because of my Mary Sue things, aren't it? And I'm like, what if there was a story that was built on the fact that a Mary Sue is the main character and she like absorbed the entire story, but then she died and all these other characters are suddenly confused. Wait, this character that we're so focused on is gone now. What do we do? Like, would that not be such like an interesting story?
No, that would. I just don't know how you'd write it, but no, that is interesting now that you think about it.
Like, you focuses on one character and then she dies, and all these other characters like, well, shoot, I don't have a character other than this. What the hell?
Hey, what are both of your favorite Steven Universe episodes? Oh, I can't pick one.
How do you do that?
I can't. I mean,
I find the funniest concept of an episode to be Rocknaldo. I don't know.
I hated Rocknaldo. I will admit it was funny, but I hated it.
I just liked it because of like, just how, because I don't know. I've just been like involved in that kind of stuff, so there was so much stuff in there that was like so relatable it hurt, and it just. Plus, I was also like, I found it hilarious the amount of like rage it induced in people.
What methods do you prefer in developing characters and making depth in their relationships without it being forced? Okay, this is gonna sound bad, but just wait and take time. So you can look back on it, because like back to what I don't know how your story was, Zodiac, but Marked when I originally wrote it was nothing compared to what it is now.
Oh yeah, I
know I'd actually like tried back then. I'd be like, oh, this is a mess.
Yeah, I have a lot of both Luniverse and actually the first story I ever made, which I'm kind of rewriting it, but it was like the story I made when I was like 12. And the main character was the least interesting character in the entire story. And literally, so far, I think the only character that hasn't changed is the flipping main antagonist. But I did that too because like with relationships, it's just kind of gotta learn, and you gotta screw up first before you can figure it out.
Oh my god, I hate insta-love. I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, you guys can bang. I totally believe in like lust at first sight, but whenever I see the insta-lovey, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Zodiac, I've just talked to you this one stream.
Yes.
We're meant to be.
Oh my god.
It's just how it's like that's not how real life works.
Yeah, that's like the kind of stuff like two people like do a collab together and everyone's like, "Oh, you're a ship now." Like it's funny. But it's not legit.
You mean how all my friends think Aerofex and I are a couple even though we're engaged to dudes?
I find it hilarious.
Oh no, we love it. It's great. Cause
yeah.
we're just because we're really good friends. But it just I do not like self-inserts. That's just personally me. I don't like self-inserts.
Something funny I've noticed is that the good self-inserts, you don't know that they're self-inserts.
Exactly.
So
unless you're talking about Twilight. What's her name? The author openly admitted that Bella was a self-insert, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, like the thing is, the moment you know you can tell a character's a self-insert, that's when I think it's bad.
I'm streaming. Well, I'm not streaming on my channel. I'm streaming on Zodiac. Hi, Internet. You want to say hi? Oh, my fiance's here.
Hi. How you doing?
He says hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I will leave now.
All right. Wait.
No.
Squad there. No, I can't move. I made dinner! Just give me water, that's all I want! I'm dying! Okay, anyway.
Story of my life. But yeah, I think that like, the moment you notice a character is a self-insert, that's, without like being told, then that's when the character's probably bad.
Yeah. Also, if a character's a self-insert, please don't use your same name.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
Because I loved the Cirque du Freak books. I did. I loved those. But I'm like, author, why is your name Darren Shan? And the main character is named Darren Shan. It's like spelled the same way and everything. I'm just like, okay.
It sounds like, happened recently. I went to a little like theater meetup thing, party, whatever. And one of the activities was you were getting a group and you had to come up with like a synopsis and a poster for a play. And for some reason our group came up with like the story of many M's. It was, what was it? It was the marshmallow murder in the mansion on a morning on Monday in May or something like that. It was just a really long title of M's. And then we took people we actually knew in our theater group, and we just replaced their names with M's. Like, one of the characters' name was Marin Matson, but then the plot twist was that they were the villain, and their real name was Warren Watson.
Oh my god!
And then we had one of our teachers. We had because his last name like is Valentine, so we joked that the character's last name was Memorial Day.
I love this.
Yeah, and we joked because we had a bunch of other characters that we didn't put in our synopsis because it would have been too long. But we had a bunch of other characters, and I just laughed because my name is literally just 3 M's. So we just put a character in there that was literally just my full name. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you for getting me weeder.
Guys, listen. Mary Sue and Marina Susan Adventures will only happen if I get exactly that many likes on that video, okay?
Oh, did you have a like count on it?
Oh yeah, hang on. Let me go read it to you.
I must have missed that.
No, I'll go read it to you. It was in the description.
Oh, I didn't read it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. But I put a like thing in there because the joke thing was like, oh, look at this thing that's totally not gonna happen or whatever, and then I put in the description. I'm getting it. I put, if this video gets exactly, how do I even say this number? It's I think it's trillion. It's like 2,359,398,284.0932 likes.
Hey Zodiac, go make that YouTube money.
See, if it hits exactly that many likes, I'll make Mary and Marina Susan Adventures. But
You're
only.
not my mom! I love that thing. You're not my dad! I love that stupid thing.
I know. I do that all the time. Just like, you're not my real mom!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, we were talking about story stuff, weren't we? Anyway.
I think so. I'm like going back and now people are talking about my wheater, how I call it weird.
I know, I noticed that too.
How do you go about writing love triangles?
What?
Okay, so how do you go about writing love triangles?
Ooh boy.
Ooh, okay. So, like, at least for me, whenever I see a love triangle, I hate the fact that both people who are, like, being kind of used are okay with it. I hate that. Where it's like, oh, well, you have to pick one of us. And I'm like, why she gotta pick? If she can't pick, y'all should leave her. Or vice versa if it's a dude and 2 chicks.
Yeah, you know what? In all honesty, if she hesitates in picking you, then obviously she doesn't love you enough.
Right? I hate that in books. And I also hate how, like, I hate love triangles in most books because they always end up with the first dude.
Yeah, it's like, it's
Every
so
time.
obvious who they're gonna end up with. It's not like a plot twist on who they end up with. It's so obvious.
And then it's just like, so you banged this guy, but you're in love with this guy, but you also love this guy. And what I also don't understand, and this is like just might be me, is I think it's kind of gross when it's like brothers or best friends.
Yeah,
where it's like, we're brothers, how could you do this to me? Or it's like, no, if you're like in a poly relationship thing where everybody's okay with it, then cool, you do you.
Yeah.
But if it's like you gotta pick one and she can't, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I just saw someone say this, because I saw this too. There was someone else I watched who did a speed paint of like some polyamorous characters, and the person said, why have a love triangle when there's poly relationships? And someone, I remember, who was it? I don't remember who it is, but like they had a speed paint of their like, it was cats, but like poly relationship, and they're just like, what? Like, why bother with love triangles when you can have a healthy polygamous relationship? And it was, it just made me.
If everybody's cool with it, good for you.
Like, why not? I mean, that exists in real life.
Yeah, it completely does. And I find it funny because, like, in my story, there's a couple of, like, races where that's actually really normal. Like, one of my elf races in my main story is, there's, like, a very low female-to-male ratio. So, polyamorous relationships are very common in that culture. And they also, to them, like, blood doesn't matter. So, like, it's pretty much, by that I mean, I didn't mean like that. No, I didn't mean it like that. No, I meant like in having kids. That came out so wrong. I'm sorry. No, as in like, okay, let's say, because like everybody's kind of open with everybody. Yeah. Let's say that like, if the main, I guess you can call her a wife, that's not really her name, but whatever, is like pregnant and she gives birth and neither of the dads is the biological dad, they won't care because it's their family, so that's their kid.
See, I like that. I find that kind of stuff fascinating. Like, I always like seeing people when they make different species or different creatures or whatever, when they actually kind of like go all out in making them like having their own kind of thing going
Culture.
on. Like, because I mean, it's kind of a thing I have with aliens, and especially like in movies. But I can't always be mad because it depends on the resources. But like, it always does kind of bug me, at least just a little bit, when like all the aliens in a movie literally just look like humans with different colored skin.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes!
I saw a movie like kind of recently, and like it seems like there's a decent amount of people who didn't like it, but I liked it. My brother liked it. Maybe I was just too immersed into it, but like I really liked it. But what even was it called? But it
was it that Valerian?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I wanted to see that.
Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was really good. I thought that the protagonist could have been better, and there was like this one scene that like they seemed to have like a total personality swap for a second, and it was like, what? But it was based on a comic, and all the aliens in that movie are so unique looking and different, and I find it so cool, and I loved it. But
No, that's the thing I always thought too, because like I have some sentient races in mind that don't look like people.
yeah,
I haven't really drawn them because I'm not the best at it, but like my world's version of dwarves, like finger quote dwarves, are rock people. And and when they have kids, they're literally like rocks that like break off of each other. So it's like, I have a kid. Cool.
See, I love that kind of stuff like a lot.
It's well, no, because like that's the thing I always thought. I'm like, if it's like a world and stuff, it shouldn't be just these things.
Yeah, like they didn't all, unless they like actually developed and branched off of humans.
Yeah.
Then
it's also a lot like my dragons, because like, oh, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's like my dragons, like a lot of my dragons, because they all came from how mine started off. It's not really a spoiler. Is they all started off from 4: a water dragon, an air dragon, an earth dragon, and a fire dragon. And so like all of them have kind of like intermingled with each other so much that they're like they are a very sentient race, but they're still animals. So even though they learn later on they can shift into mortal forms, they don't like doing it because they're like, why? This my giant fat dragon self is my true form. Speaking of, I will show you him because my friend drew him for me. And he's a very fat, cute chubbo.
Oh my god.
I love him. Hold on. He is like my fat baby dragon. Let me find him.
I
know the chat can't see it, but I want to show you.
And like I understand it, like in some cases some people can't go that crazy, like especially in movies because it depends on your resources, but like my suggestion is that if you're gonna actually like write a story with aliens or mythical creatures, I suggest go have fun with it. Like,
yeah, especially if you're writing something. If you're writing something, like even if you can't draw, like especially in literature, like there is no limit to what you can describe.
Yeah, like yeah, it kind of makes me sad because I've actually heard a lot, like when I did the Mary Sue things, I had a lot of people who were saying stuff like, I've always wanted to make this character do this thing, but I'm worried people will call them like a bad character and whatnot, and it kind of upsets me because like you gotta be able to have fun with your characters for them to actually be something interesting. Oh my god, that's so cool. It's so cool.
I loved it. I was told my friend, I'm like, he's old, so she gave him a fat belly, and I'm like, I love it.
It's beautiful. I love dragons.
Sorry, no one in the chat can see.
Here, I can show them real quick if you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can.
It's by BezZK on YouTube. Just so I didn't draw this. I wish I did someday.
This is beautiful. But yeah, it kind of just makes me sad because there's a lot of people, I feel like, especially like younger creators who are like so terrified about like what other people will think and the stigmas around certain things that they're not willing to like go for it, you know?
Yeah.
Which leads to a lot of boring stories a lot of the time, which sucks. But yeah, like my suggestion is that if you're gonna make a story, just flipping go for it. If things don't work out, you can change and you can fix it. Like so long as you're willing.
No, exactly. I completely agree. Oh, I actually have one more. You want to see my stories, vampires? I've showed this, so I'm not sad. But like that's another thing. Like, okay, I'm a big fan of like mythical creatures and monsters. So when I had decided, I'm like, you know what? In my story, my vampires are gonna be fucking monsters. And so it took me a long time of research to make these like bat people, because in my mind I was always like, because my world's like old,
Yeah.
then you're old. But I was always like, oh well, if we evolved from monkeys, why didn't things evolve from other things? So that's where my
Yeah.
vampires came from. Let me find him.
I love this kind of stuff.
Where
Very
I know
delightful.
it's so much fun. I love it's so much fun. I love talking about it. So this is actually the papa to one of my characters that you're gonna draw for the trade.
Yes.
Adopted papa, not real.
Yes.
That's a
Oh,
bean.
that's so cool.
My friend gave him anime hair, and I laughed my ass off. Because all I said was I gave him like the basic idea. And I'm like, oh, give him hair, because I can't draw the hair. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, you know what? I love it. I'm keeping it.
I mean, come on, anime bats.
I know.
Oh, that's so cool though. Ah, I love this kind of thing.
Also by BezEK. These are all done by BezEK on YouTube.
It's beautiful.
She draws beautiful monsters. And she has a magical webcomic called Death Chicken. It's hilarious. It's about a Grim Reaper chicken. I actually love it.
That name just sounds delightful.
Oh no, full on here. I'll link you to it.
Oh
if
yes,
you want to
please.
look at it later. Because she posts hers on DA, and it's legit. It's about a Grim Reaper chicken. It's amazing.
Oh, I just pulled up Photoshop. That was not intentional. I forgot I had that playing in the background, or not playing,
that's fine.
sitting in the background. But yeah, so. For anybody who wants to write a story, for anyone who wants to write a story with like mythical creatures or aliens and things like that, unless you want them to be humanoid, like if you want them to be creatures, go for it, man.
Yeah.
Have fun. Like it's so much more fun to break the rules and do like just go crazy with it than it is to just try and play it safe because you're worried other people won't like it.
And another thing too is like my story. Like I've been told this is my story is I tried to be. It's obviously not historically accurate because the world doesn't exist, but it's very medieval-esque inspired. So there is like an arranged wedding, like not really early on, but at a point on, and there's like a big age difference. And I told my friends like, Michelle, I didn't know you support pedophilia. I'm like, I don't. And the point in the story emphasizes that. It's not like a yay, we're getting married. It's like, oh god.
I could go on a rant about that too. Like,
you want to? I mean,
I'm seeing some people who are upset because I'm not answering questions. I'm sorry. We're having fun.
Oh, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have come.
No, it's fine. This would have happened eventually, and it would have been a lot less entertaining because I'd just be stuttering as I try to think of things. But like I see a lot of people who will have see big age differences in characters and immediately say that's pedophilia, and it makes me feel weird. Like, do you know what pedophilia actually is? Like, if the characters are both adults, it's not pedophilia. It's just a weird age gap.
Fun fact, if any of you guys like Game of Thrones, in the novel, she's 13.
Yeah, I've heard about that stuff.
Yeah, freaking Daenerys Targaryen is fucking 13, and Khal Drogo's still 30-something.
Which is historically accurate.
Yeah, and it's clearly they couldn't show that because they wanted to have her sex scenes, but I mean, it's I'm just saying, again, I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a part of the story. Again, just because someone writes something into the story doesn't mean they necessarily agree with it.
Oh, okay. I do know one question someone kept asking that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
How do you write a character in a canon universe? Because I think that could be a fun one to talk about.
That is that would be a good one to talk about.
And it was a question a while back. I don't know if the person's even still there, but
dang.
I didn't ignore you. We were just talking.
Yeah, we're very into this. This is fun. But yeah, I know one thing I see a lot especially because I'm involved with Steven Universe stuff, whatever, is that people seem to freak out when a fan character's in a canon universe. When to me, I'm well, for one thing, it depends on two things. Number one, it can be done well. Number two, if the person's just having fun, it doesn't matter.
Sorry, someone just drew me fan art.
Oh. But this is the reaction I do every single time.
I'm not expecting it. I'm they drew one of my little succubies. They drew a cookie. I'm so happy.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
This is why I never check social media, because I'm always worried something will be there for me and I'll get so distracted.
Yeah.
But I mean, not that I obviously get very distracted. As I'm saying that, I'm just quickly looking at DA, and someone actually drew the character from the last stream.
Blither what?
Okay, I don't think you were there because you were there for all of it. We were
Yeah,
making.
I had to leave.
Yeah, we'll get back to the canon character thing in a second. I'm sorry, but we had because we were reading the hilarious original fiction thing, and there was a joke because the werewolf character showed up, and the way they described him, I immediately thought of one Decimo from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh my god!
Because they said he was like black hair and and tan skin, and he was a werewolf. And oh yeah, they said like he ripped his shirt off, and I was like, that's Juan Decimo. And so
It is. It is.
everyone started. I said I demanded that everyone gives me fan art of like stock images of Juan Decimo's face and a pair of abs, or like a set of abs on a wolf body. I'll send you some of them.
Please do. Oh my god. Okay.
It's amazing. And someone actually sent me one that was the drawn. This is the one Teeny gave me. This is the most popular one, quote unquote. But
oh my god.
This is I showed it during the stream. But yeah, I demanded, and someone on MayTA just like actually drew it. There it is.
Hey Morgan. Is your name Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey Morgan, a twist. I'm like, who's Morgan?
Yeah,
oh
somebody asked me that earlier.
That is beautiful. I love it.
I told them, stock image of a wolf, abs, Juan Decimo's head. That's the requirement.
It's perfect. It's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, and the entire time during reading the rest of the story, I didn't call it, the guy's name was like El Wolfo or something like that.
Oh my god.
So I called it, but I didn't call him El Wolfo because I was having problems saying it, so I just called him Wolf Decimo through the rest of the story.
That's so beautiful.
It's great.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
My sister's really paranoid about her art being stolen. It's worth it. She will never go anywhere online if she does not post her stuff online.
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time on my channel. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I have people, Zodiac. I know you're still young.
Yes.
You're still pure.
Yes.
You're gonna deal with these people, okay?
I have.
You're gonna deal with the Mard.
I know. I kid you not. I had to deal with it earlier today.
I get it all the time. Oh, how do I get my stuff out there? Post it. The only thing is stolen. Chances are it will. Because if you get popular, your shit's gonna get stolen.
I've had my shit.
Sucks.
I've had my shit like because like Amino has a big problem with people stealing art and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually ended up the first time I made an Amino was solely because I wanted to tell someone to take down my art because they reposted it. And like, so I've had it stolen maybe like 2 or 3 times on Amino, and then a few times on DA I've had it happen. And my advice to anyone, if that happens, really, it's nothing to freak out over. Like, genuinely.
Yeah, don't lose. In my mind, you only lose your shit if they're stealing your stuff for a profit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, stealing your stuff for a profit, and like, even if they claim it as their own, it can be dealt with so easily if you just don't freak out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless you're on Facebook, because Facebook don't care.
Yeah, but like I had someone earlier today. I kid you not, they were like tracing over and recoloring like 4 of my pictures, and I left a comment on there, and I just told them, hey, I can tell this is stolen. Take it down, and they did, like immediately after I said that. So like, and in fact, in all honesty, I'd actually say the angrier you get, the more likely they're not going to want to comply with you.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, okay, I explained this with my buddy Airflex on her channel. We have this thing called Frankensons out here in California.
Yeah.
And it's like this big trade show, and there are so much stolen artwork there.
Oh, goodness.
So much. And we report it all the time. We'll tell them, and they'll be like, okay, and then that guy's gone, and I kid you not, the next like week, it's a different dude. Same shit, same stolen art. There's always Sakimi-chan, there's always this and that. And that's like, the artist, and like, it sucks to say, but those artists, they're so popular they don't care. Because we've tried contacting them, like, hey, their stuff's still like, honestly, I'm just used to it. I'm making so much money that I don't need to care. And I'm like, okay, I mean, hey, if you're cool with it, good for you. But like, I know if like I had my shit stolen and I saw someone else selling it, I'd be pissed. But if it's just like a person retracing it, then just talk to them nicely. Usually
the people who do it are kids.
Like, well, yeah, I mean, hell, I openly admit this. When I was 12, I did MS Paint edits.
Oh
I was one of those little 12-year-olds that did Naruto MS Paint edits.
I didn't because I didn't know you could. But I used to actually, like, all the time, I would trace, like, legitimate poses and hands all the time. I don't do it anymore. But I give you. There's some pictures. If you look way back into my art, I know there's one I can see in my mind that I'm not gonna say it because I don't want
You don't want people to find it.
I don't want people to find it. But there's one on my DeviantArt, like way back. Like it's just really old, so I kind of denounce it now. But there's an old picture that legitimately the entire pose was traced.
Yeah, but it's just like I hate that is because everyone at some point or another has traced. My problem is you need to grow out of it. I grew out of it. Like I said, people are like amazed that I'm okay admitting that I was that little 12-year-old, and I'm like, as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I was that 12-year-old. I was a dumbass because I was 12. I didn't know any better. Now as an adult, yes, I realize it's wrong. But like you gotta talk like. But then again, if it's an adult doing it, you know, like I do have issues with like bases. Like, I've had people try to give me fan art on bases, and I'm like, I would feel so much better if you just drew it. Even if you don't think it's good, I feel like there's more effort and heart into it than doing, like, a base. But no, I'm sorry for that tangent, Purple Zebra, but yeah, honestly, your sister, if she's never gonna post her stuff online, she's never gonna have a following online. That's, like, the long short of it. Sorry. I struggle with writing romance. Do you have any general tips since romance is...
we have to answer the canon thing.
Oh my god! Wait, yeah, okay. No, thank you,
so,
thank you, I forgot. So
back to that, okay, so with the canon characters, what I can tell you is that for the few times that I've actually written characters, because I have a few, I don't have them posted, because the only characters I've ever really posted that were related to canon characters are like, well actually, none of my characters, and I guess one of my Steven Universe characters is, but the thing I found out for it that helps me a little bit, is that look at the canon, like, just make sure you're aware of the story and the canon and the rules you do have to follow, and find places where you can fit someone in. Or just have a flat-out AU, in all honesty.
There's nothing wrong with doing an alternate universe.
Yeah, like, people seem to act like there's some kind of, like, rule to it, like, it has to be this different, or it has to be, like, it can't be, you can have, like, an AU for some things, and then... you can't have AUs for other things. No, you can have an AU for whatever you want, in all honesty.
You can have an AU for anything. Okay?
Legitimately.
What?
I said legitimately.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I've seen AUs from everything. I've seen Legend of Zelda AUs where none of them are, like, heroes. They're just dudes living in a coffee shop. I don't know why, but it's a thing. And so I'm like, okay, see, that person really wanted to write Zelda Ganon and Zelda owning a coffee shop. So there you go. Good for you.
And, like, I mean, in all honesty, with canon characters, like, all you have to say, well, it's an AU or they exist. I mean, it might not be the best AU, but in the end, unless you actually, like, want to make your character, like... Because there's a difference. If you want your character to be noticed and, like, revered and, like, be a good character, then you will have to listen to, like, criticism stuff. But if you just want to make a character because you solely want to have fun and that's it... legitimately just do whatever you want. Like, so long as you're not hurting people, it doesn't matter. Just have fun, you know?
Yeah.
There's a difference between...
sorry, guys, we keep going on tangents. I'm sorry. I'm so bad at this. I brought this to you, Zodiac.
It's okay. I would have done the same thing. Like, at the beginning of the stream, every time I kept getting... I'd start going on one thing and I'd ramble about it for way too long, and then I'd think, oh yeah, there's this other thing that I just mentioned. And I'd go on another tangent, so...
Okay, let's see. Hey, I have two girl characters that are in love and in a relationship. One is shy and awkward, the other one is nice, excited, and fun. How would I make their personalities fit well? I mean, you could easily make that work well with each other.
That's a pretty typical kind of romance combination right there. So
I mean, I don't see how that can be, like, unless... I'm searching for the trace you mentioned. Hey, no man hunting, it's okay!
Hey, listen! Don't bash a year ago me.
I love. Oh, thank you. What was it? Let's see. What was I saying? Yeah, like I think what's a fun thing you can mess with is the I like slow burn romances because I don't know. I feel like they're more realistic.
I do too.
Like I feel like romance, obviously, unless that's the plot of your story, should be like a perk. I think. Okay, I'm gonna be vulgar for a second. This is gonna sound bad, but it's how I think of it. It's like I think of it like a good romance is a lot like sex in a relationship. Sex should not be the meaning of your relationship. It should be a perk.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know a lot of people in my life who, like, a lot of their relationships are solely around the physical stuff. And then when it gets to emotional stuff, they come to me because they can't talk to their partner. And I'm like, you've been with XYZ for 7 years, and you're telling me this. You should probably tell them that. Oh, well, they just won't understand and this and that. And, you know, we'll just do this and that, and they'll be very physical. And there's nothing wrong with being physical. But again, a point of a relationship is a connection with somebody.
Like, obviously, if that's a point of the story, like, two characters are in a relationship and it's about the fact that it's physical, or, like, it depends on what you're going for, but if you want, like, a good relationship, it needs to be, like, you know...
Yeah, it should be more natural and fluid. Like I said, it's a vulgar example, but it's the best thing I can think of is a relationship, sex should be a perk, not the point.
Yeah, and,
Giving out real advice right now. Well, I mean, I'll be 25 in November. I'm almost there.
I believe in you. It's fine.
My brain's almost fully developed as an adult.
Yay! Oh, goodness. I was telling my mom about that today. Like
stupid psychology fact, but
I said like it's like, you know, they're doing studies now, and apparently you're like only really an adult when you're 25. And she's like, yeah, with guys it's longer.
Yeah, it is. It actually is.
Yeah,
it
like,
is. That's usually when they have like their midlife crisis. That's why.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do you feel about killing characters? Do you? Okay. So how to kill a character properly to have it affect you is to have it be a character that no one's expecting, because once a character dies properly in media, their plotline's done. Their shit is not coming back. So like everything that they didn't get to finish, it's left out in the open. You're like, what do I do now? And you don't want to back out and have like the MacGuffin of, oh well, they're just reborn, or you know, or they're not really dead.
And unless there's a good explanation, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, yeah, you're very right. Unless there's a good explanation. But it's like, you need to have people feel like, I think that's kind of a big problem I kind of have with a couple of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Is like, I know certain characters aren't going to die because I know they're going to be in freaking Ragnarok. Or not Ragnarok, Infinity War.
Yeah.
So I'm like, or like with the Wonder Woman movie that just came out, I really liked Wonder Woman. I really liked it. But I'm like, I know you're alive because you fought Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like, you want to be careful with that kind of thing. That's why I have a very big issue with like prequel books that come out after a series, because I'm like, well, I know this character's alive in book X, so the fact they're having this life-threatening thing right now, I'm like, I know you're alive.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I feel like it's also like I said this earlier. Hang on. I can't ever talk when I type. I swear to God.
Oh no, I'm the same way. So go ahead, type, or say what you wanted to say with the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So I was updating the title of this. Okay. So it's one of those things I mentioned.
Oh, you're updating the title. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I have to give you a shout out.
Oh, baby, no.
I gotta do it.
Oh, I feel so. I'm blushing. Oh, I'm flattered.
But it's one of those things because I mentioned earlier that like oftentimes with practically anything in life, one extreme is bad and the other extreme is typically just as bad, if not worse. Yeah. And when it comes to killing characters, it's the same way. If you kill characters like kind of carelessly and you just kind of kill them to kill them, it can be bad.
You mean you pull an Attack on Titan?
Exactly.
Where everyone's fucking cannon fodder?
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense for the world that Attack on Titan is, though. But
no, yeah, it does make sense, but still, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna get attached to anybody because y'all can die at any minute, except Eren, because Eren's God.
Yeah, Eren is invincible. But like, so you don't want to kill characters kind of like aimlessly and mindlessly and do it like solely just to like pull at people's hearts, like, oh look, they're dead. Sad day. Are you all sad yet?
That's true. Yeah, there should be a reason the character dies.
Yeah, and you also got to find the way it's timed right, and you also don't want to like kill them with the intention to bring them back. You know?
Exactly. Okay. Like another good example is I'm gonna use Harry Potter for a second because I know it's just, I'm literally reading the book this happens in, so that's why it's fresh in my mind. Is in the Order of the Phoenix. For those of you guys who have seen the movie or read the book, that's when Sirius, Harry's adoptive godfather, is finally like, yeah, you can come home with me. You can live with me now. So Harry doesn't live with the Dursleys, and Harry's finally happy that he actually has, like, a parent in his life, and then he dies, and he gets killed in front of Harry.
Ah.
So it's like, it really hurts, because you're like, no! He finally had it! And now it's gone. And Sirius is gone. Like, he's dead for the rest of the series. He's dead. And so it hits you so hard.
See, because
that,
like,
and to me, that's a death done right.
Yeah, and death in stories can actually be used so well.
Because I triggered your chat. Can we not talk about that? I'm sorry.
But like, you can use deaths, like, not only because maybe you don't feel sad for the character that died, but it could affect another character in a way that makes you sad. Like, and I know I have a story that I can't even, like, go into detail about it because it's a story I don't even talk about at all. I only talked about last night. But there's a character, an antagonist in the story, that gets redeemed at some point, and they kind of join the group or whatever, but they die very shortly after, and it's, like, really sad because there's a character that, and it's funny because he's my favorite character in that entire story. But I'm killing him for, like, a reason. It's plot driving, then I can't talk about it. But,
okay, well, if you want to talk about it, I have a theory. I think Jasper's gonna die.
Yeah, actually...
No, realistically, I feel like we're gonna finally get her redeem arc, and then she's gonna get shattered. Because, I'm sorry, I love Steven Universe, but I just, no one's died. They bubble everybody.
I was about to confirm and or deny that statement, but I realized that I would be doing it with a spoiler that might not even be true. Because there was
in Steven Universe?
Yeah, there was a huge, like, spoiler thing that, like, my friends linked me to on Instagram.
Really? What? What? Okay, I didn't hear about this.
The person who, well, it's not really, like, bouncing around everywhere, and it's, like, a lot of shit for, like, season 5 and season 6. And my friend just, like, they linked me to it, and I looked at it because I didn't entirely mind, but I don't want to, like, spoil it for everyone else. But it had a lot of shit, and the person even said, like, they found this out, but they don't know if it's true or not, but, like, from listening to it, it sounds pretty legit.
Can you... Okay, now I want to know, but I don't know if you want to tell your stream. I want to know this, though!
I mean, okay. Okay. Okay, because I want to say the Jasper thing, because I actually know what happens, and it makes me so excited, because I hope this is true, because it'd be such a great character thing.
Well, tell me!
Okay, here, I'm gonna tell people if they don't want, like, potential SU spoilers to leave, and I'll tell them to come back. Okay, here, I'll just say, if you don't want potential SU spoilers, leave for a second, or just, like, mute this for a second, and I will tell you in the chat when it's safe to come back.
Yeah.
Because, and again, nobody actually knows. Hi, Sam. No one actually...
Oh.
Like,
hi, person, I don't know.
It's not confirmed necessarily, but it's possible. But okay, so let's go.
Okay.
I'm making the suspense. All right,
spoiler time.
What I read was that, okay, everyone was super excited because spoil me like the rotten child I am. But because everyone's super excited and they want, like, a Jasper redemption arc kind of thing. So it's almost like it'd be disappointing if that didn't exist. So from what it said, Jasper does come back, and she'll end up being half corrupted like Centipedal was, from what I heard. So, easily, they could go the very predictable route of, and again, this might not be true, but I hope it is, because they could go the predictable route of, like, redeeming her, and she joins the Crystal Gems, and everything's great. But, from what this said, and I hope this is true, when Jasper learns the truth about Pink Diamond's murder, and she ends up going rogue. She doesn't join the Crystal Gems, and she leaves Homeworld.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Right? That's what I thought.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Which actually made me happy, because I was kind of worried they were going to, like, suddenly redeem her, and I'm like, but would that make sense, though?
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for her to go rogue.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, that's what I I read.
I mean, that's another thing too, is because like technically, and I'm not even a huge shipper of it. I hate when people call Lapis a crystal gem. Like she's never called herself a crystal gem.
Yeah, she's kind of like halfway there, but she's not yet. Although,
yeah, Peridot did.
Spoilers again, possibly. They did say that, I think in season 5, I believe they said Peridot and Lapis get stars, though.
Oh, really?
Is what it said.
Well, I knew about Peridot. I knew hers was coming up.
Yeah.
I knew hers. I didn't know about Lapis though.
It made me like, it just kind of made me very satisfied. And I hope that's gonna happen because it's so much more believable than her suddenly joining the Crystal Gems like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because with Peridot and Lapis, that's kind of different. Because Lapis already has a weird relationship with Homeworld, and she likes Steven. Peridot was kind of forced to interact with him, and then she kind of like adjusted.
Yeah,
Jasper's
and then oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Jasper so like hates them, but if she learned like her life was a lie, she
and
probably
the whole reason she was created, yeah, you give me trust issues.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't be like immediately, well, you're on the opposing side, I join you. It's actually being like there's a gray area, by the way,
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I thought that was cool.
That's what I kind of like about SU too. Is I like that like no one's inherently evil for evil's sake.
Yes, I love it. I love that a lot about Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I love a lot of the character stuff and the way they do story stuff. Like with like Bismuth. Like there's a lot of people who are also on that list. It says Bismuth does not return.
Yeah.
But like, okay, because there's a lot of people say Bismuth should be redeemed, and I don't think she should because I feel
I feel like Bismuth's too set in her ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Spoilers are done, so.
Now we're just talking about random theory crafting.
Yeah, but like, cause with me, I feel like it's like with the killing characters thing. Although she didn't die, with me, she served her purpose and she represented a thing where like she was on the inherently quote unquote good side, but she wasn't a good person.
Yeah, it shows that even good people can do bad things. Or
exactly.
No, good intentions can be done by bad people.
And I mean, even to get like a little bit political, from what I see, she kind of represents a radical in a way.
Oh no, very much so.
Yeah, like, so to me, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, Bismuth should come back. She needs to be redeemed. Like, why are we redeeming other characters? And I even heard people who say like, she didn't try to kill Steven. Like, yeah, she did, but
I mean, she did.
Yeah, she did. I don't know where people get this idea that she didn't, but like to me, I'm like, she served the purpose that she was created to do, and as hard as it hurts that Rainbow Mom is never going to be a thing, I don't want her to come back from a story aspect.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like she did such an important. She was the first person Steven ever poofed.
Yeah.
And he stabbed her like through the stomach.
Yeah, and like that's a big character development thing for Steven. Like.
Yeah, and plus it's like, and it shows, especially in Mindful Education. That's the one with the Here Comes a Thought, right? That's Mindful Education?
Yeah.
There's another one. I always forget the names of them. But I remember in that episode, I like that Steven has issues.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that, we saw Eyeball, we saw Bismuth, we saw Jasper. It's like Steven has issues.
He's a poor kid. He's got like, I think some of like the best character development because like at the beginning of the show he was such typical happy-go-lucky cheery protagonist kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now he's like so much more mature and he's got issues. Like
well, and that's what I like too is like I like Rose, but not because Rose is a good person.
Yeah, well that's a lot of other spoilers that I'm not going to talk about. That was in the thing. But
I'm
not going to talk about it. Here, if I can find it, I'll link it to you.
Yeah, link it to me.
I'll go look for it. It was like two whole Instagram posts like dedicated to the fact that like just a lot of things that were heard, and I love it. Oh, there was also this. Hang on, I'll show that in a minute. That was.
It's okay. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah. Zodiac.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. Go.
Okay, hang on. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm looking for the Instagram things.
But okay, I'm gonna answer this question. It's off topic, but to me, it's a quick question. It's how do you get motivated to record speed paints and actually edit them in time? For me, I like doing my shit early if I can. Scheduling your videos, bro. Best thing in the universe.
Oh my god, right?
Like, I love doing, and you don't even have to have a monetized channel to do it anymore. I was able to schedule stuff before my channel went monetized. So like
Yeah.
you don't need to monetize your channel. So what I do is like if you have free time, I draw all the time because that's like my full-time job.
Yeah.
So it's easy. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I know I'm gonna work all day. I'm gonna record this just to have this backup footage, and then I'll record a topic, edit the audio, put the video to it. Like sometimes I'm trying to do that more though, where I'm doing more pictures where I talk about the picture.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, especially if I'm like, it's gonna be a long, excuse me, if it's gonna be a long topic video, I'm like, the picture doesn't matter. They're listening to my voice ramble on, so that's for me. I don't know how Zodiac does it, but like seriously, scheduling your shit in advance is such like a stress reliever.
Yeah,
So I know that I always have a video on Wednesday.
it really is. I
That's what
have well, because I do like the weekly things, and I've
right.
always done them at
I know you do
yeah.
Corrupt Day Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah,
and your other ones, right?
they've always well, yeah, like well, the other series aren't even weekly, but for like the weekly ones, like scheduling saves me because I'll like edit all on one day and I'll schedule it the day before, and it's always at like 3 o'clock, and it's so um, it's very nice.
Yeah.
um,
But no, I think that's what's great is set aside a day, a single day, and just do YouTube stuff because that's what I do too. I like just do YouTube stuff where I'm like, I'm not gonna work on commissions. I'll check emails. I don't want to be rude, but I'll just edit videos and do audio for videos that day, and then I post it up.
okay. After I give you these, I need to show you. There's a. By the way, I'm sending them to you. I'm getting the second
No,
one.
it's fine. Yeah.
But I need to show you. There's this flipping picture in the official Steven Universe art book, and it's like my favorite thing ever. And apparently, there's a lot of people who are angry at it, but I love it.
Are you talking about the concrete
No,
thing?
concrete's a
Okay.
totally other story. Hang on, ready?
Because that was such bull. Oh, okay, here it is.
Yeah. Okay, here. I'm gonna put it on the actual stream thing because I love it so much. This is an actual picture. This isn't like my picture or whatever, but this is in the actual Steven Universe art book, and it's my favorite thing in the world.
I want to get the art book so bad. I'm putting that on my birthday wish list. Let me see.
I'm gonna open it.
Yes! Oh my god! That's amazing!
I love it so much.
How could people hate that? That's amazing!
Well, because there's people who freak out because, like, Lapis and Jasper in abusive relationship. Like, who cares? This is hilarious.
It's so weeb! It's amazing!
It's so sugoi!
I can't get over the fucking lips! Jasper's fucking lips!
Look at Lapis's eyes, though.
What eyes? Those aren't eyes, those are fucking UFOs!
I love it so much.
Oh my god, it's beautiful!
It's in the official art book, and I love it.
I need this book. I need this book more now. This is so beautiful.
I'd get this book solely for this picture.
Oh my god, it's magical.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my god, I fucking can't.
I love it. I'm gonna just leave this up for the rest of the stream.
Yes, you need to leave the Sugoi. Sugoi kawaii anime trash.
Sama-san, Chan-sen, Pai-kun.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I love saying that. Anytime we bring up animes brought up, I always end up doing that. It's great. But yeah, so. Goodness. I should probably end this at some point soon. I need to, like, get up at some point tomorrow. I mean.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Well, honestly, though, but the thing is, like, I always say that, but I stay up, like, hours later just go away, Papa Bat, I swear to God. But, like, I always stay up for, like, hours later just doodling because I just can't sleep. And for some reason, I sleep easier after, like, I do something. And if I try to go to sleep too early, I won't go to sleep. I'll have insomnia, like, all night.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way. And
Yeah.
if I ever take a sleeping pill, I get weird-ass dreams, so I wake up not feeling well-rested. I'm just like, that was disturbing. I didn't need that.
I've taken, like, I used to take melatonin all the time because it was just, insomnia was so hard.